Bubbly, bubbly, bubbly. I saw your video about WSU's enrollment. Yeah. So you try to draw it to, well, first of all, me saying that I'm a bully. And then, second of all, trying to tie it to the Greek system and saying that WSU's enrollment is down because of Greek system and rituals and, oh, and the Idaho 4 murders. Well, that's not why enrollment's down. Enrollment's down because of incompetent leadership. We had a great president until 2016. He unfortunately passed away of cancer. His name was Elson Floyd. He had built up the academics, built up the athletic program. While he was dying of cancer, he was going over to Olympia and fought to get our medical school established. So we now have the WSU Medical School. And then the Board of Regents, instead of following up with another visionary, hired a dud. And Kirk Schultz came in. And he rode on Elson's coattails for a couple years. And then it soon became apparent he didn't know what he was doing. And somehow he hoodwinked the Board of Regents into allowing him to become the president of the whole system. So all branch campuses. Now, normally, universities under their umbrella will have branch campuses, but those campuses are allowed to have separate leadership. They will have their own presidents. He decided to incorporate it all as one global campus, named himself the leader, system president, appointed a chancellor for Pullman, moved the chancellor into the president's mansion, and then moved himself to Tri-Cities. Yeah. In the meantime, athletics was starting to fall apart, and then COVID hit. And then him and the athletic director botched COVID big time. They fired faculty that wasn't vaccinated. They fired a football coach for not being vaccinated, even though there were several players that weren't vaccinated. But it was okay if they played, but no, you can't have the coach. Oh no. So we got to fire him. They created a mess. And when alumni complained, they treated us like crap. Like, I called to get a refund on my season tickets because I wasn't vaccinated, so I couldn't go to the games, and they wouldn't give me a refund. It's like, really, this is how you're going to treat alumni that have donated for years, all over COVID. So unlike U of I, where Scott Green handled things well and they had in-person classes and they weren't required to do testing and all these things, WSU effed up. And you can say, well, Jay Inslee's direction. Well, if Kirk Schultz was any kind of person, he would have stood his ground against Inslee. But he didn't. He buckled. So WSU under Schultz also had this drive for 25. We were going to try to get into the top 25 of academic institutions. Well, guess what happened under him instead? We slid 38 spots backwards academically. Part of that was combining the system, because once you combine your branch campuses, it takes down the academic grading levels to what your weakest campus is. But guess where enrollment went up? His pet campus in Tri-Cities. They're up 16% because that's the one he chose to focus on, even though he's supposed to be over the whole system, right? So as academics started backsliding, professors started leaving. Then students started leaving. Then, without tuition from those students, you have budget cuts. More budget cuts, more faculty leaves. Programs get cut. Never-ending cycle. Then you had athletics. Pac-12 conference fell apart around us, and he had his thumb up his ass. He was on the Pac-12 Board of Governors. He voted against getting rid of Larry Scott, Pac-12 commissioner who ran the conference into the ground, basically. He also voted against expansion when we could have added Texas and other teams to keep us going. And instead of looking for a landing spot for us, he tried to keep the Pac-12 going and believed University of Washington's president when she lied to him and told him they weren't going to leave the conference. Yeah, because he's naive. So now it's us and Oregon State in the Pac-2. And we're trying to build up. But the thing is, athletics bring kids to the college. And student athletes started transferring out. Students that might have looked to go there this fall were like, well, they're not even big-time athletics anymore. Like, No more big matchups against Power 5 schools. No chances for Power 5 bowls automatically anymore. Downhill. Our volleyball coach that was an alumni, beloved, she even left. Kirk Schultz has destroyed the university. And it had nothing to do with Greek life, nothing to do with what happened in Idaho. Also, you say that the two universities need each other. They don't. They've never needed each other. They're always been separate entities, separate institutions. One's run from Washington State, one's out of Idaho State. They don't need each other. And Idaho's had 7 semesters of enrollment increases. I would only hope they'd hire someone like Scott Green to replace Schultz, because we need a visionary again, and what Green has done at U of I has been amazing. And the Idaho 4 murders had nothing to do with leadership at U of I or WSU. But that would be like saying that because Ted Bundy killed co-eds, that those universities they attended had something to do with it. No. Kohberger chose, for whatever reason, to kill. Why he chose those 4, we still don't know, but he did. And that has nothing to do with U of I or WSU. Now, why you tried to bring Kelly Farley into this also is beyond me. You were like, oh, the university leaders at WSU and U of I should be watching out for her. Excuse me? I wasn't aware she was even a student at either university. And her problems with substances are not the university's problems. So I'm not quite sure why you're bringing that up. But as far as me going away, keep spreading misinformation and I'll keep making videos. That's how it is. Ignoring me, like attention, you think I crave attention. I don't care about attention. You know what? If I cared about attention, you know what I'd be doing right now? I'd be making up weird conspiracy theories like you and Tommy, because that's what gets the viewers. That's what gets tens of thousands of viewers. I wouldn't be sharing facts if I cared about attention and viewership. I'm just trying to counter the misinformation when I see it, so at least the people that care about actual facts will know what's going on. I'm sorry if you don't like that, and I'm sorry if you think that makes me a narcissist, but far from it. I believe wholeheartedly that you and Tommy, people like you and Tommy, are the narcissists, and all you're doing is hurting the victim's memories in this case. So, ta-ta.